technology can't replace human beings.
What it's going to do is give us more time for that human connection.
If we're focused on the customer relationship, that customer is going to keep coming back to us.
Not like the evil robot. The good robot. Do the thing, clean the dishes. I got a robot mower for my house because I don't want to mow the lawn.
I like that we're all on team AI as a force for good.
Hey guys.
Hello.
Welcome. We have Erin here.
Yay.
Hello, Erin.
Special guest live from Rochester, New York.
And we have Rich.
And we have Rich. Hey, Rich. Thanks
Rest
for joining
in
us.
peace, Rich.
You want to talk about Rich for those that would like to know him?
I mean, I won't do it justice. Rich was a remarkable human. He was an employee at Innovative for literally decades. He actually worked at a competitor in the 90s. I'm sorry, not at a competitor. He worked for a customer in the 90s. And he did so much good work with our team that there was an opportunity for him to join our team. Customer was all in on that as long as they could continue to work with Rich. And Rich literally helped thousands of customers during his work. And he worked at Innovative, I mean, literally almost to his last day of living on this earth. The work here gave him a lot of meaning. Fuck cancer. The man just had such a fight in him, battled cancer twice. And
how many years was he at Innovative?
28. So, I mean, just absolutely remarkable. His, so like during his calling hours, they had so many people, they had to cut it off. They literally had to cut it off. You know, like he was that kind of soul. And he wasn't close with everybody. That was the other thing too. I've been here since 2003 at Innovative, and Rich and I have obviously worked together my entire career here. And Rich and I weren't terribly close, but Jamie Eisenhower, our chief people officer, she became very close with Rich, especially over the last 3 years, and close with his family. Yet every time Rich would come into the office, it was like having a brother in the office. Like it was that level of comfort. And I know he impacted so many people in so many ways. I can't stress enough the customer impact he had. You talk about people that just live into the culture, live into the idea of doing whatever it takes to help a customer. For so many years, Rich has been the smartest person in the business, literally the smartest person. Like he was so smart. In the early days, Innovative, we had this great wall between departments. There was an application development portion of the business, and there was a network infrastructure portion of the business. Those two never spoke. Literally, teams never spoke. It was one of the reasons we started doing lunch for all the employees in 2016 and continue to do so today. We wanted to bring people together, and lunch breaking bread is a great way to do that. What I was going to share is that Rich was the only employee for years that could cross the chasm between infrastructure and application services. So he could work on a data project or an application development project, yet at the same time, he was one of the strongest network engineers that we had. And you don't find people that can go really deep and really wide. Rich Wilder, rest in peace, could do that. He will forever leave his fingerprints on this company. I am extremely proud to have worked with him. Laying to rest an employee, arguably the hardest thing you can do. I mean, when you have to go through a layoff or even just letting go of somebody in the business that needs to part ways with the business for business reasons, that is a very difficult thing to do. It's second on my list of hardest things to do in a business when you have to let somebody go. I think any leader that tells you different just doesn't have a soul. But when an employee doesn't retire from Innovative, doesn't leave the company, but dies while they're working at the company, it just is impossible to put into words. As an owner, as the CEO, as a fellow team member, to be there for the employees, to be there for the family, to be there for the customers, the amount of customers that have reached out to us since Rich's passing. I mean, it'll be a while, I think, till we get to a place where we all have figured out a way to live without Rich physically present with us. Just
Yeah.
really, really remarkable human being.
Definitely left an impact in this place, in this space. We're here in our headquarters today, and last week had the chance to, have a little ceremony
Yeah.
with Rich's family, plant a memorial tree on the
Mhm.
grounds, just to really honor his contribution over those 28 years, his presence. Erin, you were able to speak and say great things about him, and we'll always remember him and appreciate him.
Always, he's a reminder, kind of bring it back to the podcast topic. He's a reminder of why technology can't replace human beings. Connection, the deep empathy that human beings have the ability to do, the understanding of a situation at a more intrinsic level. AI, I find it so hard to believe that in our lifetime that AI will be able to do some of those things that are just so human. And Rich embodied that in a lot of the things that made him so special. Beyond how smart he was, because we all know AI can just do remarkable things from a smarts perspective, right? How you talk to a customer or make the customer feel as though they're going to be okay as you're working through a situation or you're working through a difficult project and you're trying to keep it on the rails. You need people to do that. And I am really bullish on artificial intelligence, machine learning, data, technology in general, AWS, the amazing technology announcements that came out of the New York City Summit just a couple of weeks ago with AWS. I'm bullish on these things, but people are at the core of it. And I'm grateful that we've built a business that rides on that. We stand on that. Like that, for us, that's what it's all about. It's about a people business with people that really lean into being different. And we do that on purpose, with a purpose like that. I love that, man. I get goosebumps when I think about it, and I get energized every day. I hate Fridays. I hate Fridays because I know I'll probably not talk to or see the other employees of Innovative until Monday. Bothers me.
You can call anytime.
I know.
Just call Travis.
I know.
But no, I think, when we were at Innovative Field,
Yes.
we made the comment of one of the great gifts of AI is not that it's going to, replace all of us, but what it's going to do is give us more time
Mhm.
for that human connection. I know the big push that you have for us internally is to use these tools and think creatively about how we can integrate AI to give time back. And, for me, when we were honoring Rich, you realize that time and health are such a gift,
Yes.
and how we use time is always such a privilege. And Erin, I know you've been a real leader for us internally with the project management team on how you've been using AI to get time back. Is there any example of that you have?
Yeah, definitely. So juggling a dozen projects at the same exact time and having to send out communication to all of the C-suite from the customer perspective, it takes many long nights. I've sent you many DMs at 1 a.m. saying, hey, thank you. AI has completely streamlined how I send out reports, make decisions. I'm using Darcy, using Claude to basically spit out problem statements. Hey, here's the gross margin. I need to figure out how many additional engineers to add to a project to hit this timeline. It just makes things so much quicker. And looking back I've been at Innovative for 3.5 years, the amount of hours I would spend on Thursday nights doing reports has been eliminated. So now my Thursday nights can go back to watching Grey's Anatomy and having a glass of wine.
I think there's some nights I'll see emails coming in from her. Like, oh, she's on Slack. I'll ping you a few times.
Yeah.
Go to bed. Stop it.
Or you're CC'd on the email and then you reply to the email saying, log off. You're
Well,
done.
I think one of the great things about Erin in her role as arguably one of our most seasoned, experienced, and customer-loved project managers on our team, Erin cares deeply about a customer and their outcomes. Now, she's had some customers that are difficult. Not, every business has customers that are tough, people that are tough that you work with, right? Erin consistently shows up and cares deeply. And what I love about the fact that Erin is starting to use some of these tools like Darcy and some just, let's just use Claude as an example, to do things that are taking time away from her to be able to do more of that. And that is exciting. And I think that's when I was talking about the connection, if you had a way to measure it, Erin, I bet you in 3 or 4 months from now, if you had a way to measure the connection you're able to establish with the customers, because you're able to have more conversations, do the things that they care about, and get some of the minutia out of the way, it's good. Not to mention the fact that if you're working less after hours and you're able to veg out, watch TV, get a good night's sleep, and come in refreshed the following day, that has value too. These things are small, but I'll be honest with you, it's all those small things that add up, especially in a business like ours, that really make a difference.
When it comes to like sentiment, being able to focus on a meeting with the customer versus taking notes. Sometimes a
great
project
example.
manager is looked at as very transactional. We're only focused on a couple different things, where at the end of the day, if we're focused on the customer relationship, that customer is going to keep coming back to us. So I can use AI to kind of get my admin stuff done on the side
Yeah.
versus having to focus on that when I should be really maintaining the relationship, understanding the customer sentiment, and making sure it's overall a great experience and partnership between us and the customer.
I like that we're all on team AI as a force for good. I think, you hear a lot out in the market from people worrying about, takeover of AI. And certainly in, the sci-fi world in which I grew up in, you have countless examples of like Skynet and Terminator,
Silence.
HAL 9000
Yes.
in 2001: A Space Odyssey, like The Matrix, right? Of humans being taken over. But I think it's a little less that, and a little more like the Jarvis and the Friday of AI for good that really helps transform things. I
I
know
feel like a lot
Google,
of people want that. Not like the evil robot,
right?
but they want like
Good
the robot, the good robot, who can come in and like do the thing, clean the dishes. I got a robot mower for my house because I don't want to mow the lawn.
When did
anymore.
you buy that?
A month and change ago.
How is that working out for you?
Very,
Very timely.
very coincidental to our conversation 2 months ago when I asked you why you were spending your precious time pushing a
That's
lawnmower. So you bought
All
a.
right, so context. It takes me 45 minutes to mow my lawn. Ish.
It's therapeutic.
Sometimes. Yeah, clean up the dog poop,
Till you
move
get
the
stung by
things
a bee.
around, get stung by a bee, and the gophers attack you.
You got an
and-
AI. You got an AI.
I have an AI robot
Okay.
mower from Eufy, it's a company.
Yeah. Good brand.
And oh my God, it's horrible. The first week was horrible.
Because it.
You set it up, I set it up, and it's like, everything's great. And it's got a bunch of check marks and little happy faces come up and like this cute little robot thing, right?
First mow.
I had sent it off. It mowed my neighbor's lawn.
No way.
It went across the driveway to my neighbor's lawn and
Hopefully
put,
none
and
of
put
his
like,
pets.
It put like a giant line
Oh
through their lawn,
no.
right? And I was like, that's not good. Just like a stop button. I like ran
That's
over.
tragic.
Right. The second time I ran it, the neighbor brought it back to my house.
You have a
saying-
good neighbor.
Yeah, she's very nice.
Okay.
She's like, she goes, it's trying to do it again. It took like 7 attempts
I
to
wonder
get it
why.
right. It had to do with like positioning of
GPS.
satellite
Yeah.
and of like what it can see, what it can't see, and how you
How
can...
is it now?
Now it's great.
It does its thing.
I let it mow. I like check on it to like make sure,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not killing a dog or something.
Yeah.
But like it literally does my entire lawn for me. It takes like 4 fucking hours. It takes forever.
Yeah.
Right? But
Yeah.
like I don't
What
care.
do you care, right?
I don't
That's not your
care.
problem.
Exactly.
I don't care. Right? So it's going great. That's a robot I like.
Yeah. I mean, so many cool use cases in business for commercial use,
Yeah.
for home use. I did see that, OpenAI announced a $50 million fund to support nonprofits. And my wife is executive director of a school, private school for students with dyslexia. And, it's a very people intensive business because these students need, very intensive structured learning. And they are looking at how they can use AI systems internally to build out products for them just to increase their brand and exposure as a nonprofit. For instance, screening students. A lot of the big things they do is, hey, does your child or student have dyslexia? How can they help? What level of intervention do they need? And so building out something that can take the people hours out of that away so they can really qualify their inbound use of, new enrolled students has been something they're definitely looking into.
Would you trust in AI's evaluation of your child?
Mm.
Well, isn't it like us where we use it to get 90% of the way before you make that final determination?
I guess it depends on who's making the determination.
Because
right?
there are examples of people just kind of giving the decision-making power
Right.
over to AI. Weren't you talking about some vending machine?
Yeah. Oh, I love this. So we all know Anthropic.
Yeah.
They ran an experiment maybe a month ago now, where they gave a vending machine access to Claude. And the vending machine, Claude's instructions were, you own the vending machine. Your job is to make a profit. I'm paraphrasing, right? Make a profit. You can put whatever you want into the vending machine. Just tell a human. The human will go get it for you. And so it's like giving Jesus a wheel, but it's Claude, right? And she gets to do a vending machine. And so some asshole walked up to it and tried and asked it for a tungsten cube, big square piece of metal tungsten cube. And Claude's like, I don't have a tungsten cube, right? So it then instructs its humans to order a tungsten cube and stock it into the vending machine. And then someone came back and said, I will now buy your tungsten cube. And then Claude said, oh, they really like tungsten cubes. Let me buy 10 more of them. And they stocked 10 more tungsten cubes into this thing. No one bought it. So Claude said, let's put a discount on tungsten cubes. Everybody bought all the tungsten cubes. And they said, oh my God, people love tungsten cubes. Let me buy a whole bunch more and get some other metal accessories and stock it in the vending machine. And like, that's the moment for me. I'm sitting here like, what a giant idiot.
Right.
Like who would, like no human would have even started there, right? We would probably push it off. So like, how can you trust if it's going to evaluate your child correctly if it chooses to stock tungsten cubes in the vending machine? Like I think we're a ways off from there, and people are very, they desire the friendly robot, but they don't know what they're going to get if they truly put it into the world in production without any guardrails to kind of go do it what it wants. It's not great yet. You know what I mean?
For people facing exchanges like that, right, where there's goods and services, but there was a report over the past couple of weeks of this fund, right, that was AI driven, where they gave it actual seed money to put out there, something like $1,000. And its rate of return over the week that it was running was 23% versus the 3.8 that the S&P had given back. And they're like, well, maybe this is something that you can just empower to go make decisions and live with the outcome.
Right.
Interesting. Vending machines.
I don't feel comfortable with it just yet. If it mowed my neighbor's goddamn lawn, how can I trust it to mow mine?
Well, you wouldn't buy a self-driving car either.
No. That's because that I think there's inherent risk of me driving or someone else driving if I'm in an Uber. And there's inherent risk of a robot driving. And then I think there's like this sort of intangible, ethical, moral, like what do you do, split-second decision that you can't see all the permutations that a robot could see. And I don't know if I'm willing and ready to give that with my life in its hands. If we're in a country road, there's nothing around me, there's a straight line, sure, I wouldn't
Maybe.
care.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like what's going to run off the road and just stop, right?
Right.
New York City traffic? No, thank you.
Right.
So you haven't done a Waymo in San Francisco?
No, pass.
Have you done it?
I haven't done it.
I haven't either. Aaron, have you?
No.
Totally autonomous.
So for us, that may
Self-driving
be
car?
a step too far, but
Maybe. Until it's not.
Yeah.
the thinking machines, that makes me think of the company, Thinking Machines.
Yeah.
They were just in the news along with Anthropic. Meta
And astronomer.
and Astronomer for
They were-
different
they-
reasons.
They were in the news.
Yes,
All
pretty
right.
sure
I'm
about
just
that.
saying they were in the news.
But
remarkable.
Meta had really gone out, and this was all over the news of like your grandma and your aunts are learning about AI through these news pieces, where Meta for their super intelligence lab was offering allegedly compensation packages up to $100 million for Anthropic engineers, thinking machine
Give me
engineers.
some of
and
that.
reportedly, surprisingly, few people have taken them up on that.
I don't understand.
And the question is, what are these people seeing in their existing roles and companies that would make them say no to hundreds of millions of dollars? Is it they see AGI on the horizon? Is it they think
Drugs.
upside is too
It has
much?
to be drugs. I mean,
Well,
'cause
what do you
take
think?
it? You would take it.
Yeah, sorry, Justin, but if someone offered me $100 million, I would get in a driverless car
Right.
and be a tester. Whatever the job is, I'm down.
Do every dirty job. Mike Rowe would love you.
That's right.
I wonder if it's really intrinsic reasons. I really wonder if that's the case. We have a situation right now. It's a confidential situation going on where an individual is considering intrinsic reasons to maybe make a different career choice. And it's sparked a big conversation for us around how intrinsic reasons motivate us and how big those decisions can be swayed or not, depending on the alternative. So, case in point, you have an intrinsic reason to make a career change, yet there's a significant monetary, unintrinsic reason to stay with the current path.
What's a good example? Like you would go and save children in Africa versus getting paid more in the United States. Type of a thing?
Sure, the person who is weighing their decisions to join the Peace Corps for a couple of years
Right.
versus take the job in tech, make a lot of money, etc. I find it fascinating how, from what I have learned, AI struggles with this decision making. So I use Anthropic, I use Claude constantly throughout my day to day for lots of things, small and large. Really good at writing, not the best at math, and then everything in between. You can figure out ways to get it to a really good place. I've yet to figure out where it's 100%. Intrinsic things that don't have a very clear right answer, or things, for instance, in my role as CEO, most decisions I have to make, no matter what the decision is, there's a negative outcome. If they were easy decisions at the CEO level, well, then you're not empowering your people. So I really do try to empower people in our business to make a lot of decisions that they can make. And then the stuff that gets blocked or they can't make, it usually gets escalated to me. AI is a really poor decision maker. And intrinsic decisions are ones that I think there's a real gap. I think that this is part of that evolution. The other thing I'm discovering is that there's not enough processing power. For intrinsic decisions, oftentimes there's so much just decision making that happens with data that's not discrete. And I literally don't know if there's enough processing power, time, energy, resources to help make those decisions right. Nor do I think we have the ability to feed it enough of a prompt that can get us to a good place. And, for folks that are like using AI tools, that can make some sense. I think people that are just scratching the surface right now, they just think AI could probably just do everything. It's just too broad stroke of a thing. Bringing it all the way home to your question around, all right, these people being offered, let's just say tens of millions of dollars or $100 million to leave a job and go work for another company. God, man, if AI was good enough to help make that decision, I wonder if I think we would have a clear answer. That's why I think the reason probably is more intrinsic. There's not a discrete yes or no.
Processing power, to switch topics for a second.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
this got me on.
No, I think that's a real part of this.
Something interesting I've noticed over the last month.
Yeah.
So OpenAI just inked I think it's $30 billion deal with Oracle
Mm-hmm.
for access
That
to
made
their data
news.
centers.
Yeah.
You saw Anthropic and Apple ink a deal where Apple will use Anthropic in their new IDE, which is interesting, given that they have a pre-existing relationship with OpenAI.
Yeah.
There's a whole thing there. Maybe
Mhm.
trouble in paradise.
Maybe.
You've got Anthropic on both GCP and AWS, right? And rumor on the street is OpenAI may be coming to Amazon. Rumor.
I mean, that'd be crazy.
We
but-
thought
right?
that was going to be. I thought that was going to be announced at AWS New York Summit, but maybe that's more of a reinvent thing or
Yeah, I
still
would
working.
assume it's a reinvent thing. Hopefully, cross our fingers, it's real. Blah blah. It's
Yeah.
rumor. But I think what's interesting to me is there used to be, like when this whole thing started 2 years ago, there was a discrete us versus them wall.
Yeah.
It was OpenAI and
Yeah,
Microsoft,
we
and
remember that.
Anthropic had to make friends with AWS, and it was very much like this is ours and that's yours. And now I think because of processing power and compute needs, the wall is coming down because they're like, I can't grow, you can't grow, like we got to help each other type of a scenario that's playing out. This is interesting how like enemies are becoming frenemies very quickly, almost overnight. Interesting to me.
Nuclear. I read an
Yeah.
article about nuclear power is such a hot topic right now because there's this race to nuclear fusion and creating more power source, all being driven by AI. Not to geek out, but that's pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
I mean, when we started this podcast months ago, I wouldn't have thought that would have even been a headline. I just saw something on that. Again, I come back to just when I kind of think I'm reading the tea leaves and kind of seeing where this is all going, man. I think we're still such early days.
Yeah.
Such early days.
I know Gartner said in 2027 that there will be a shortage that restricts AI data centers by 40%. That comes down to power.
That's insane.
So nuclear is definitely
Yeah.
on that.
That's insane.
We're
And
forced different kinds of models.
I think Musk
Yeah,
was
yeah.
saying this week, he tweeted that like there's things we want to do
Yeah.
that we have, NVIDIA GPUs for, we have, the personnel for, the code is ready. We just don't have the physical power
Right.
to be able to do it.
It's a real issue. Real issue.
Do you believe that?
Not close enough to it?
Pondering.
I think people, organizations are trying to shove as much as they can into large monolithic LLMs and calling it a day, and that creates a power issue because you need bigger and bigger or more higher quantity of GPUs and so forth to do that.
Yeah.
Right? There's a different type of model architecture called mixture of experts, where you could have a very large model, but it's broken down into sort of like dozens or hundreds of little segments. And when you ask it a question or have it go do a thing, it lights up, think of the brain, it lights up the part of the brain that's necessary for that section at that point in time. So you could have this huge model, but you could shove it on a really small GPU.
Yeah.
And while not all of it can work at the same time, you never need all of it at the same time. It only uses what it needs at that point of time. And that architecture has been taking off for a while, and I think it's gaining more steam as of late. They just there's this model came out called Kimi K2,
Mm-hmm.
which is a Chinese model, which are doing amazing right now, by the way.
Cost?
I mean, nothing.
Nothing, right?
I mean, I don't know how to
And
describe.
performance is remarkable.
It is on par with Sonnet 4.
That's cool.
Do the LLMs need more control and governance? I know like we come across usage limits all the time for really
my
interesting
God, don't
customer
you start.
projects for us internally. I
Yeah.
won't spin you up on that.
Yeah, they're doing it.
But, should we be using, as a society or
Yeah.
these corporations, be reserving the power for the more important things like, detecting cancer earlier?
Are you going to get like
or
a tribunal
predicting
together that
water-
determines what
water.
important is?
I know it's hard to do, but like, do we need AI going towards all the podcast babies, right? Like the Theo Vaughns
Yeah.
and the Joe Rogans doing their whole thing with, AI produced babies. Like I'd love to see a Travis AI pod baby, Justin, Erin, but like, is that our best and brightest use of AI?
No, of course not. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, you're saying.
That was my question to you.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Who decides how to? Yeah, right.
I mean, I don't know. It's like the genie's out of the bottle. Like, how do you roll it back in? You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't know.
I
don't
think that's
you
fair.
can.
So when you are requesting additional resources from these companies,
Okay.
how are you making that case?
Okay, I'll give you a real example.
Yeah.
We have our Darcy product, which I have here on the screen. We use Amazon Bedrock for a lot of things and Anthropic through it. There's a few models, but mostly Anthropic. And we ran into rate limit issues very early on, like early on. And we asked for more quota. We're a premier tier partner. We've got a GenAI SCA, and we've got dozens, if not hundreds, of case studies and projects. Like, if there's
Did you
not
say please?
if we're not a poster child for this technology for Amazon, I don't know who is. And they came back to us and said 6 weeks. maybe 6 weeks.
An
We'll get back to
eternity in
you.
the business world.
And I'm sitting here like, I can't onboard users because it'll fail, right? Or it'll be so slow that it's
Nobody will use it.
unusable,
Yeah.
right? So like, what am I going to do?
Slow for us.
Right, it was slow for us for like a solid 2 weeks. We were trying to figure out what we were doing. And what we ended up doing, to be honest with you, was we made a routing system, a custom routing system. And when someone like Erin uses Darcy and it goes and trips Amazon's usage limit, they can't give us any more power, we route it to Anthropic directly,
Mm-hmm.
right? And we kind of skip Amazon and go right to them. And when Anthropic fails, it routes to a secondary account and a third account. And we sort of daisy chain accounts together because they can give us little bits of usage everywhere instead of one place. So yeah, I mean, there's a huge, like, someone somewhere is trying to determine what is good and bad or who should have access at a given moment. Cork's out of the bottle. We found a workaround. Lots of companies that are scaling like us are finding workarounds. There's a reason why everybody who were enemies now becoming friends, because you're seeing sort of cross consumption that's occurring. Unless there's like some legal thing that stops everyone from doing that, I don't see how it's possible.
Well, I know India, they have pushed for more measures against, well, specifically malicious AI generated content like deep fakes and things like that. But there is developing legislation across the world for responsible use of AI. It's just, again, who determines that line and where do you push it?
Yeah, for sure.
I guess we'll see, right?
Yeah.
Maybe by next podcast, we'll have that together.
I mean, very well could be.
The mayor of Rochester was on my flight from New York City Summit, so I should have asked him, what are we
Malik
doing
Evans.
locally in the
Malik.
city?
Malik, I'm sure Malik is thinking about it.
Next time I
Oh,
catch
yeah.
him,
Top of mind.
I'll ask.
Maybe. He's actually, Malik's a good guy. All politics aside, he actually does stay pretty current technologically. So who knows?
A good example, though, of like what Erin describes, it saves her so much time. Time is that power consumption, right? That's a trade-off we're really talking about, right? And do we have enough power to give her time back,
Right.
through the pipeline of an LLM, right? Our engineers are seeing it the same way, right? So we have account managers, we've got engineers on our managed services team and on our project teams, and they're evaluating customer accounts, and they're sitting there and they're talking about all the ways they can help a customer in their Amazon environment, and that could take hours, if not days, if not weeks, to do like a really, intrinsic deep dive, like of their account, right? And understanding like what matters to them and what they should focus on and all this other stuff. That takes a lot of effort.
Yeah.
And people spend a lot of money on us and other partners to make it happen. So one of the things we did was in Darcy, and I'll show you, we integrated Amazon at account into Darcy. So now our team can go in and like interrogate an account and have it go do particular things that would take us weeks or hours. And someone walked up to me today, Eli walked up to me today, and he goes, we had Darcy do something that took us 12 hours over the last week to do, and Darcy did it in 5 minutes.
It's wild.
Right? Would you trade power for that ROI?
That's a lot of Grey's Anatomy you get
Right?
back in your life.
So like an example here is, so I got Darcy loaded up, and I've got it connected to my Amazon account, my sandbox, and I can say something like, tell me something interesting about my AWS account. And cross my fingers of live demos, it's going to go off and
There goes my water bottle.
it's going to go off and analyze an account. It's going to look at different parts of the account, look at different ways it's being used and who has access to it and why that matters. And it's going to come back with interesting metrics.
Do you have to
And
define
content.
interesting, or it implicitly knows what is abnormal, what is interesting?
It will determine it itself. It will figure it out. I may have blown it up, which is wonderful. I jinxed myself.
It's almost there.
Well,
It's working on it.
It's working on it. Let's do it again. Cross our fingers. So like its goal is to go off and it's going to look at trusted advisor. That's what it wants to do. There he goes. Right? So it's running and it's hitting the Amazon account at a given moment. It's running and looking at subscription information and realize I don't have access to trusted advisor. That's what it's determined for itself.
Is it using well-architected framework principles?
It has access to the
I would
wafer.
assume.
It can hit the marketplace. It can figure out. It can make listings.
Oh, it can tell. Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's really cool.
So here's an example. It went through and looked up resource distribution, where we're spending our money, what services we're using in a given moment. Even things like, let's say,
That's really cool. So when you used to work several years ago at a cloud management platform company
called Cloud Checker,
called Cloud Checker that was acquired by NetApp,
teeny tiny business.
Cloud Checker, this would have been a remarkable feature
Yeah, I mean,
within Cloud Checker.
yeah, I mean, it would take. We would build dashboards and reports.
And try your best to interpret those to glean insight and
Yeah.
make recommendations.
I mean, yeah, and we put together, like, I would call it hard coded, because that's unfair, but like pre-made presumptions of what we think is a good thing to analyze or not. And like, I don't need to do it at all. I just told it to go and look at that QuickSight spend we have in our account and tell me why. And
It's a
more.
great feature for our technical account managers on a managed cloud services contract to do this for a customer and build into their monthly insight report.
Yeah, I mean, it's building dynamically generating spend analysis for QuickSight over time.
And I would assume you can riff with it after it's done.
Mm-hmm.
Go deep, help me understand why I should or shouldn't do this.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's continuing to analyze a whole bunch of Amazon
A
stuff.
lot going on.
You mentioned, his previous role and how this technology would help.
Yeah.
I think about that a lot.
I do
Like,
too.
If we had these
Yeah.
AIs tooling at, different stops along my career, different
Yep.
companies, how things would have been materially accelerated and changed. And I know ChatGPT, right? They announced this thing called study mode, which is step-by-step learning for students. And we, for a customer that's a startup, kind of stealth mode, not able to say the name, but we did a project for them that was something very similar. Erin, I think you touched it briefly, and you can speak to it probably better than I, but something that, like, if I had as a student, holy cow, it's
would
like
have
a
done
cheat
better.
code.
Yeah.
Where was this when I was growing up?
Right?
I had to read a book on paper like a fool.
Yeah.
I mean, do you remember that project?
Yeah, it actually was an RIT alum that started the company.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
And what they did was we were able to build an AI study bot. So taking a college student's handwritten notes, lectures, online modules, plugging it into this AI platform that we built as an app, and spit out flashcards, study material. So it's not cheating along the way. It's just enhancing their college experience by streamlining that process.
And it worked after we
Yes.
built it.
It's wild.
Did you study by textbook?
How did I study? Did I study? Yeah. Yes. Yes. By textbook.
Where'd you go to college?
Oswego.
Well,
Oswego. Just drove
Yeah.
through there last
Yeah.
weekend.
Go Lakers.
You drive through Oswego and you're like, man, I'm in Oswego, New York, baby.
Nothing to do.
I can't read textbooks.
How do you study?
I have to do it.
Yeah.
Oh,
I physically
practical.
have to do it, or I can't remember it. Right? It's
Yeah.
like flashcards sometimes help, but
Yeah.
like dynamic based labs, those are always how I learned something worked or not.
Well, but again, for like my wife who's a teacher, right? Let's say you spend the work, your staff comes together, you come up with, 5 problems, be they math or language, of what you want to teach and learn and evaluate. Well, if you can put those in an LLM and say, hey, create 5 more like this, 10 more
Right.
like this, you've saved so much time. And you look and evaluate, make sure that it's right. But just, I'm sure she would have loved that 5-10 years ago.
Oh my God. Right? My off topic, on topic. College for me.
Mhm.
Comp sci, junior year. There was a test
At Syracuse?
at Syracuse University. There
Go
was
Orange.
there was a test I had to take for intro to logic problem solving, something like that.
Thrilling.
Thrilling, right? It was a textbook this thick,
Mm.
where every other page was a logic problem, like the train's coming and there's a baby in one and a thing, and who's going to hit? Like, what do you do? Which you think is ethical, but then they give you like some math and some like unknown like sort of gray area space for you to kind of figure out based off of the logic piece you would add to it. It was like 300 or so things, and I didn't do any of it all year. And I had to sit there reading a textbook in like a dorm room for I think 36 hours straight, just filling out logic problems. I think at one point I was just like, it's that one. It's this one. Kill the baby. It's fine. Keep going. It was not good. Anyway, sorry.
Not
It was-
good.
I can't study like that. I have to do it.
Yeah.
Well, fortunately, we live in a world where there's tools. You don't have to kill any babies.
Fair enough.
It's all good. And yeah, while we can't, use AI in the past, we can for the future. And I think we agree the future's bright.
Agreed. Any lasting impressions or words for the group, Erin? Go team.
Go team. Go
The future's
Darcy.
bright. All
We need
right.
to figure out our tagline.
Thanks for coming, Erin. Until
Thanks
next
for
time.
having me.
Thank you all.
Great.